आज दही बड़ा खाने का मन है।
वाह क्या स्वाद!
असली स्वाद तो MDH दही बड़ा रायता मसाले से ही आता है।
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for the debate.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a little over 78 hours since the dastardly Pahalgam attack. And in these many hours, the rattled Pakistani establishment has only made a series of blunders. It's only natural. A failed state standing against the might of a 1.4 billion strong nation cannot be expected to act rationally in any capacity when facing the prospect of annihilation. But what these Pakistanis have done in the last 78 hours is even more appalling. A series of statements, or should I say irresponsible verbal transgressions, have begun from Pakistan. You would not believe, viewers, when I tell you this. The Defence Minister of Pakistan, Khawaja Asif, has scored the biggest self-goal. He went on an international news platform and said that we've been doing this dirty work of fostering terrorists for over 3 decades. Now, the desperate Defence Minister of a dilapidated army in Pakistan, in the face of global isolation, wants to blame the US and the UK for its decades of state policy of harbouring terrorists. Now, this is a clear and unabashed admission of a fact that India has known for decades and the world has known for some time now, and something that Pakistan has shamelessly denied. The world knew where the US found Osama bin Laden. The world knows where Hafiz Saeed has found his safe haven. And now, their defense minister is seeking mercy from the world for his crimes as he finds no takers for this sob narrative. Now, Pakistan, you have been stripped bare in the eyes of the world for any mercy. From the near genocidal rants of the Chief of Army Staff, Asim Munir, on why even after 75 years of complete despair, he wants that failed state's legacy to be the two-nation theory, to the open backing of terrorists by the so-called POK's puppet Prime Minister, Chaudhry Anwarul Haq, who wants to play a holy of blood from Delhi to Kashmir and proudly says that he backs Mujahideen. One after the other, these statements are taking Pakistan's case only downhill. Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan is out of options. There is not a hint of doubt in the minds of 1.4 billion Indians and 25 crore Pakistanis, yes, that Prime Minister Modi is going to take his revenge. He stated it openly yesterday, and if Pakistan thinks that by making such irresponsible statements, they will get any credence in any part of this world, let me remind them. This is 2025. There is no counterbalancing. There is no negotiation. The world unequivocally stands against terror. And it has left the fate of Pakistan to the wisdom of the Indian government. So move all the artillery you want. Scramble all the jets you can. Park all your forces on the border. And brace yourself. Decisive justice is coming.
26 unarmed Indians shot dead. Families torn apart. Over the last 4 days, the nation has bid tearful farewells to 26 Indians who were singled out and shot dead by Pakistan butchers for being Hindus. And one state, a country that has bred, fed, and sponsored terrorism for decades, has now made back-to-back admissions. Pakistan's Defence Minister Khawaja Asif has openly confessed to his country's role in supporting, training, and funding terrorist outfits for the last 3 decades. An unapologetic admission, the minister admitted to his country harbouring and nurturing terror networks for the past 3 decades, or what he termed as dirty work. The statement comes a day after Pakistan Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar described the Lashkar terrorists as freedom fighters, admitting a soft corner for the terrorists.
क्योंकि ये हमने ये नहीं कहा, वो हमें शुक्रगुजार होना चाहिए कि ये तो फ्रीडम फाइटर्स भी हो सकते हैं. We don't know.
As panic takes over the corridors of Islamabad after India struck their crumbling economy hard with the halt of the Indus Waters Treaty, watch how a rattled Pakistan is attempting to avoid questions on the Pahalgam massacre.
कैसा रहा दौरा? ये सब पहलगाम के हवाले से अगर प्लीज कुछ बता दें, वहाँ पे जो कुछ हुआ है दहशतगर्दी.
And aware of the fact that they cannot win a traditional war with India, Pakistan claims that they cannot countenance a war with India that is not nuclear. With the dirty work playbook exposed again, India prepares to wipe out the Pakistan terror nexus.
And I'm joined by Lieutenant General Raj Shukla, Major General G.D. Bakshi, SP Ved, who's the former DGP of J&K Police, and Ambassador Dr. Deepak Vora. Thank you so much for joining me on this debate. And I don't really have any words to express what I feel on this shameless admission by the Defence Minister of Pakistan, Major General Bakshi. A fact that I think the whole world has known. Do we have any doubts on who's been the nurturer of terrorism in the world? And he's now openly speaking to the world, telling them that we've done this for 3 decades.
Absolutely right you are. You know, the Pakistani military civilian establishment is now showing signs of panic. They don't know what they are blabbering, right? They are exposing themselves, implicating, incriminating themselves with every stupid word that they utter. Here is the Pakistani Defence Minister saying, we did it for you for 30 years. Of course we raised terrorists. Of course we nurtured armed and trained terrorists, and we fought the Soviet Union, and then we very cleverly siphoned off most of the weapons and used them against India. Of course we did it. We did it. You know, starting with a stupid lead set by Mullah Munir, you know, when he went on a civilizational rampage, you know, telling us about the differences between Hindus and Muslims and about the new Riyasat-e-Madina that had been established in Pakistan, whereas the original, you know, where Islam originated was Saudi Arabia. Let me remind you, they are modernizing, they are liberalizing. Their women are getting education. They are being allowed to drive. I was in Abu Dhabi. They have had the sheikhs, the very liberal and very well-educated sheikhs have permitted the construction of a Lakshmi Narayan temple in Abu Dhabi. That is the way they are going, because they are focusing on the economy, on the well-being of their people. Pakistan, Mullah Munir is focusing on jihad, is focusing on Ghazwa-e-Hind, is focusing on trying to finger India in J&K, in Punjab, and has overthrown the legitimately elected government in Bangladesh to jihadize Bangladesh. You know, they now need to be taught a lesson. this won't work. We've suffered enough. We have had it up to our gills. We have seen our girls crying over the dead bodies of their husbands who were shot in front of their eyes, in front of their children. You got some paying back to do. Munir Saab, in your quest for getting an extension, no army chief in Pakistan wants to retire. But the fact is, they are all very keen to start an India-Pakistan war to avert retirement, to get extensions. A very costly way of getting an extension. He's come running back from Kazakhstan. That is where he had gone in the cool climate. It's very hot in Islamabad and Rawalpindi. He had to come running back. The first order he gave was that the military, the Air Force squadrons in Karachi, they were moved to Skardu. He's very sure the main attack is coming in Gilgit-Baltistan.
No, but G.D. Bakshi, Major General G.D. Bakshi, you said that it is hot in Islamabad. There is no doubt to my mind that it is going to only get hotter, because Lieutenant General Shukla is sitting here. Absolutely. And what I really want to, what I want to say is, Lieutenant General Shukla, Pakistan knows that there has been a diplomatic strike, but it also knows that there is no way that they can stop a military strike from happening. Now, the way in which it happens is a thing that the government will decide. But the words that came out from Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, yesterday in Bihar, it is very, very clear that there is a big strike coming. And Asif Munir knows that. Shahbaz Sharif knows that. And is there any doubt in their minds? They're all rattled in Pakistan right now.
You're absolutely right. So, just let me make 4 quick points in terms of how I see the situation. So, this terror ecosystem of Pakistan, helmed by General Asif Munir, who is actually the architect-in-chief of this heinous act that General Bakshi was referring to, and heinous because of the religious terror angle, the religious targeting, communal terror, the savagery. 4 honeymoons were turned into funerals. Those terrorists taking selfies with the ones they had killed. And the man responsible for the savagery is General Asif Munir because of his dog whistling on the 16th of April 2022. So this is the reality. Now, the Indian statecraft has no option but to respond. And so what have we done? One is by freezing the Indus Waters Treaty. But what is worse, in my view, that there will be a bevy of responses, but what should be at the forefront of the response this time is calibrated kinetics, where we have a range of options across domains, across the escalatory ladder in terms of instruments. And that is what the Honorable Prime Minister was referring to when he said that we will chase the terrorists and their perpetrators to the end of the earth. And this was, Mr. Rajnath Singh, I think earlier yesterday, said something similar, that not only the perpetrators, but those behind the curtains. And why we must do it is for 2 reasons. One is to re-establish deterrence which had got sown in Balakot, but has since, worn off. And 2, now this is the final thing. We must, Mr. Vora is here, we have enough, the diplomatic space seems to be in our favor. What we must do, the end game this time, is to isolate the Pak army, the ISI, from the larger Pakistani state and nation, take the world with us to deliver one message, that terror as a tool of statecraft will simply not work. That should be the ambitious objective of Indian statecraft. And under this very strong Prime Minister, I think we have every chance of achieving the same.
Lieutenant General Shukla, the way you put it, let me just go across to Ambassador Vora, who's sitting here. And Ambassador Vora, as I said, it's a shameless admission from the Pakistani Defence Minister, a soft narrative that has no takers. We know that the world is standing with us, and they've been shouting from the rooftops, telling everyone that Pakistan is not behind this attack, but there is not even one voice standing in support.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Always a pleasure to be with you. And of course, today you are, as usual, brilliant. I learned from you a lot. Now, we've heard 2 of India's outstanding soldiers. We've heard from General Bakshi, we've heard from General Shukla. It's just totally accurate what they have said. May I put it to you across in diplomatic terms with your gracious permission? This buffoon, that defense minister, so-called defense minister.
Oh, absolutely.
How do you make an acknowledgement that you have been indulging in terrorism? It's not ideological terrorism. It's mercenary terrorism. That you've been doing the dirty work on behalf of America, Britain, and the West. America and Britain will be hopping mad. You're involving them. You intend to inculcate these people in whatever happened. We all know what happened in Afghanistan and so on. But to say so openly, the man has lost his marbles because he's scared. He's running scared. Ma'am, second point. We talked about the Indus Waters Treaty. Give me a moment. I'll explain to the millions of people who watch your show. The separation of India, the partition of India was 1947. Indus Waters Treaty signed in 1960. Why did it take 13 years? I'll tell you quickly. There's this British joker who decided on the partition of India. As far as British Indian Punjab was concerned, he sat at a table with a ruler and drew a line. This is Pakistan's part of Punjab, this is India. And that line gave the headworks of one of the finest irrigation systems in the world, canal-based, to India, Madhupur and Firozpur. Ma'am, at that time, had we wanted, we could have starved Pakistani Punjab, cut off all the water because the headworks,
yes,
the control was with us. Not only did we not do it, but we also agreed to give them 65 million pounds sterling. That would have bought 125 tons of gold at that time. Today, of course, it will be much less than that. We agreed to give it to them even in 1965 when we fought a war. We were paying in 10 installments. We continued to give it. Now, why it was done, I'm not going to comment on that, whatever the leadership of the time thought. But today, when our minister says, not a drop of water, he's referring to irrigation water, and he's also referring to the fact that the Sindhu River, ma'am, which originates from Mansarovar. I'm a Sanatani. I mean, the Sindhu is my mother river. She comes from Shivji's, the sacred place. And what he said was that we will ensure that they die of thirst. Ma'am, this is the age of technology. Now, I don't want to say much more. General Bakshi knows better. General Shukla Saab knows much better than I do. That if you go to Leh, you go to a place called Alchi where we have a power project. Today, it's very easy to build a tunnel. Take it wherever you want, 100 kilometers, 20 kilometers, 200 kilometers. All you then need is a blast. A coffer dam will come up. The river will stop its normal flow. It will seek its own outlet. It will go into the tunnel. The tunnel can come out in Punjab or Haryana or wherever. Prime Minister had asked this question, why is our water flowing to these people? This is about 7 or 8 years ago. Finally, whatever Narendra Modi says, he means what he says what he means. This buffoon, General Bakshi, this character called, what is his name? Munir, the mad Mullah Munir. I think he's a reincarnation. I've served in the Somali region, 1900 to 1920. There was a chap called the mad Mullah Muhammad. Also a Hafiz, also a Haji, also a general, also everything. Sent thousands of his people to their deaths because he believed in jihad. And this mad Mullah Munir plans to do the second. Ma'am, my prediction, we're not in the business of making predictions, but this buffoon, by exposing his country, he's probably going to get a kick where it hurts him, that's in his rear, in the next 3 or 4 weeks. He will go, ma'am, either shot by his own people or booted out by his own people.
Ambassador Vora, the way you're putting it, it's in the days to come. They all know it in Pakistan, and that is exactly why they're rattled. They all know that there is a big response coming their way. And the news that I'm just getting in, Army Chief who was in Kashmir today, and there are some decisions that have been taken. They've been taken, additional special forces unit to be deployed in Kashmir and small team of para to be sent to forests of Kashmir for an ambush. The second step that has been taken, the Indian Army along with Jammu and Kashmir Police will form a special coordination team for coordination and seamless operations in Kashmir. And the special focus will be on the upper reaches of Shopia, Kulgam and Anantnag. And the third big decision is that the GOC Victor Force, Northern Army Commander, will brief the Army Chief twice a day on the counter-terror operations. Let's just go across to my colleague Gursimran, who's joining me from there. Gursimran, just tell us what's the latest on the ground operations that are taking place.
See, Sucharita, there have been some key decisions that have been taken during the day-long visit of the Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi to Jammu and Kashmir. General Dwivedi knows Jammu and Kashmir to the back of his hand, reason being that he has been the Northern Army commander here at the Udhampur. And today, during the meeting, some key decisions have been taken that includes the induction of the special forces in the Kashmir Valley. Earlier, 9 para, 6 para, 2 para, along with the 1 para, they have been operating in the Kashmir Valley. But now it has been decided that at least 3 units of the special forces will be inducted in the Kashmir Valley, and they will be operating in a small hit units that will be deployed in the dense forested area so as to ambush the terrorists that take the advantage of the dense forested area. Second decision that has been taken is that the Jammu and Kashmir Police with the Indian Army will form a special coordination team that will focus on the seamless sharing of inputs and the real-time analysis of the situation so that the terrorist can be neutralized. And the special focus will primarily be on the upper reaches of the Kulgam, Shopian and Anantnag, because that connects to the Pir Panchal and the Chenab Valley of the Jammu region. The terrorists have been seen flowing from the left to the right, from the Kashmir to Jammu and Jammu to Kashmir after carrying out the terror attacks. And the third decision, that the GOC Victor Force under whose command the South Kashmir comes, he and the Northern Army commander will be briefing the Army Chief twice a day. This is at least twice a day, not that the maximum twice a day, subjected to the situation developing, but they will be briefing him on twice a day. That means the real-time situation will be delivered to the top brass of the Indian Army, that will further do it to the Ministry of Defence. So does the Union Home Ministry and the Prime Minister's office. So this is to ensure that there is a regular communication and also the strengthening of the boots on ground by the Indian Army.
We know it, and so does Pakistan, that there's something big coming. The Army Chief is in Kashmir, is in Srinagar. Thank you so much, Gursimran. I go across to former DGP J&K Police, SP Ved, who's joining us. Sir, you know this terrain like no one else. You've led operations here. Now, there is a big ground operation that is going on here right now. More than 100 OGWs been taken into custody. But how do you see this? Because a big tactical operation required right now. We are not able to hear, sir. Sir, I think you need to unmute yourself.
My apologies. Good evening to everyone. The visit of the Honorable Army Chief was very, very crucial in the backdrop of what the incident happened on 22nd. I think a bit of coordination was required, and the induction of few more units of the para special forces, because the kind of terrain you see in South Kashmir, we all have seen those photographs of the place of incident, and thick forest and mountainous area all along in this belt, including Anantnag, hills of Anantnag, Kulgam, Shopian, and its adjoining Pir Panchal range. There's a possibility of them slipping over towards Kishtwar, towards Banihal area. Now, all these points have to be kept in mind. We will not allow these terrorists to be alive for some more time. Very soon, you will get inputs that they will be tracked down and eliminated. Our boys are working very hard. It's a difficult terrain, no doubt. Somebody was on the other channel asking me, sir, 48 hours have passed and nothing has happened. In such operations, there's no timeline. Let's allow our men on the ground continue to work and go after them. We will get them. I have no doubt about it. And apart from this group, we have few more groups operating in Kashmir Valley, and there are 7-8 groups operating in Jammu region, hills of Jammu region. Few in Rajouri Poonch, few in Doda, Udhampur, Basantgarh. We, in fact, yesterday had contact in Basantgarh area of Udhampur, where we lost our para Jawan. We had 2 kills in Udi, where infiltration bid was taking place. All around the Kashmir Valley and Jammu region, a lot of operations are taking place, and I think we are going to bloody have a tough time for these people, and they will not they are all on the run. And most important is the support structure. These Pakistanis cannot succeed without the local support. After all,
Yes.
somebody had helped them to recce this area. Somebody had helped them to come to this area. Somebody had offered them food. So all these people
Yes.
need to be dealt with. That's why today the house of those local 2 terrorists who are accompanying them were where explosive was found. They were blown off. So I think with no mercy to these people. They need to be bloody. They are the enemies of Insaniyat. They are enemies of the Kashmiris. They are enemies of this country. So no mercy to them. We will. Yeah.
Right, DGP, no mercy at all. And as you said that you have no doubts that they will be nabbed, neither do we. We know that the forces are working on ground. We know that they are working tactically. And the news that I would like to tell my viewers, as you said, the house of Lashkar terrorist Asif Sheikh was blown up today. Asif was involved in the Pahalgam attack. And Pakistan is spooked. Now it's relocating its weapons to the LOC. Now, Pakistan, that is rattled, now relocates tanks and arms to the LOC. Now, what exactly is happening in Pakistan right now? They fear a retaliation. And they know that a big retaliation is on its way, and that is why it's relocating. It's relocating its weapons. It's relocating tanks and arms to the LOC. Now, this is exactly what is happening in Pakistan right now. Also, all military leaves cancelled, missiles being tested in Karachi, security tightened at the terror launch pads. Now, do we have any doubts? Now, Major General Bakshi, when there is an open admission from the Defence Minister himself, we don't have any doubts that Pakistan has been harbouring terrorism. If security is being heightened at terror launch pads. Now, the common man comes very late for them. When they know that there is going to be retaliation, the first thing that they do is they give security to all the terrorists that are holed up in Pakistan. And that is what they're doing.
You know, I think we have very credible kinetic military response options. You know, you must define what is your aim. What is going to be the aim of such a kinetic response option? I think what is Pakistan's greatest vulnerability? What is the Shah Rag? It is not, as Mullah Asim Munir said, Jammu and Kashmir. It is the economy, stupid, as someone very famous, Bill Clinton, had pointed out. It is the economy. We should aim to hit the Pakistan economy and sink it once and for all. So we've already started the process by the abrogation of the Indus Waters Treaty, which hits the Pakistani agriculture very hard, right? Mainstay of their economy. Number 2, in this operation, we should use the Army, the Navy, the Air Force in an attempt to impose heavy costs on Pakistan's capital military equipment. Let me give you an example. Pakistan is very fond of flying its F-16. It just bombed 2 villages in Afghanistan, killed 52 women and children, right? They're very fond of flying F-16. We have the S-400, one of the best air defense missiles in the world. Unlike in 2019, our aircraft are now equipped with Astra beyond visual range missiles of over 100 kilometer range. You know, the Aram Sharam will be outraged. So I think we must aim at inflicting heavy costs on the Pakistani Air Force as it tries to, play Tom Cruise. We should get as many aircraft down as possible, very capital intensive equipment.
Right.
We must try and do damage. The Navy must be postured off Karachi. If we want, we can impose a partial or a full blockade, or at least we can exploit the naval flag to fire cruise missiles at terror targets, command and control targets in Karachi and elsewhere, right? Number 3, the Indian Army. Like Pakistan, we were recommending that the ceasefire should be abrogated. Pakistan has helped us by abrogating the 1972 Shimla Accord. So there is no LOC now. You heard that? There is no LOC. So we have a number of our, Bofors guns, our ATAGs, our Dhanushs, our, the multi-barrel rocket launchers, Pinaka, also the Smirch. We should go for their counter battery, destroy their guns, destroy their command and control nodes, and in the bargain also go for some of the terrorist camps from which they are fleeing. Go for the terrorist camps.
Now that you say this, let me just get Lieutenant General Shukla also into this, because now the entire country is looking at the retaliation that will take place. Now, we know that there are meetings taking place in New Delhi, from Delhi to Kashmir, but sir, militarily speaking, what are the options that you think can be explored? And right now, I'm just speaking about them. I'm asking you as a military man, you know their strength, you know our strength. What are the options that we can take?
Much of it has already been recounted by General Bakshi.
Right.
I'll just add 2 to 3 things. One is, not only the Indian military, but the Indian strategic military system has a great deal of width and breadth. Pakistan, in comparison, just look at the economy, $4 trillion, $0.34 trillion. For a long time, we have been punching below our strategic weight. We must just punch to our strategic weight. And if we do that, that will encompass everything that General Bakshi said. There are options across the 3 domains. I'd agree with him. In the past, we have underinvested in our naval power. So blockades, there could be a combination of strikes and coercion. I would think we must target this whole terror array, which means not only the terror camps, the launch pads, but the Pakistan ISI installations, their command centers, isolate the terror apparatus from the larger Pakistani state. So there are a number of options. And the last point that I wish to make is that now that we are into this business, it could be escalatory. It could be a long haul. So we have to develop the resilience, look at our supply chain statecraft, look at our inventories to prepare for a long haul. But in aggregate terms, I would say Pakistan, by its very dastardly action, has left us with no option. And therefore, this is a seminal moment for our statecraft. For all our levers, diplomatic, military, economic, what has been done with the Indus Waters Treaty, to get together and to show this. At the end of the day, what is Pakistan? It's a pest. The larger threat is to our north. So we must show Pakistan why it is a pest, because it is a grave provocation what they have done, the savagery and the heinousness of the crime.
And they know that, Lieutenant General Shukla. I think they know it very well, and that is exactly why, as I said, there is a fear of retaliation in a significant step towards the development of the next generation station hypersonic missiles. India has successfully carried out ground tests of the scramjet engine for more than 1,000 seconds, say government officials. Now, this is a big step in the development of the next generation missiles that has taken place today. India has conducted the ground test for scramjet engines. We know that the Indian Air Force is carrying out the exercise Akraman. We know that the Indian Navy is active in the Arabian Sea. And now the next generation missiles also being tested. It is also a message that is being sent out to Pakistan and to the rest of the world that what the mighty can do. Now, I think Ambassador Vora, I've said this earlier that the Indus Waters Treaty being cancelled, being put at abeyance. Now, Pakistan screaming on the top of on rooftop, saying that this is an act of war. We did not even cancel it at the time of war. That is because India always has had a humanitarian thought. But now, I think enough is enough.
Absolutely, no question about it. May I also say, ma'am, that I've just returned a few weeks ago from Srinagar. Whenever I went in the past, Director General Vaid was kind enough to make sure that there were fellows to protect me. But this time, I just went on my own. And I was staying when I had to, and I went to a hotel, a 5-star hotel, and something worth listening to. So I just walked in and I said, look, can I book a room? They said, yes, 45,000 rupees a night. And I said, look, I need for 3 days. And then they said, come back in 6 months because we are booked solid through. So tourism was reviving. 80% of Kashmir's lifeblood is tourism. This is what the Pakistanis intended to destroy. And what you've talked about, ma'am, there's a book here which I would recommend you read. It's written by one of my teachers, former teachers in the United States, Barbara Tuchman. She's dead now. This book was released in 1984 when I was there. And it's called The March of Folly, how governments consistently act against the interests of their people. This buffoon, this mad Mullah Munir has done exactly that. He's caused enormous damage to his own people. By the way, I speak fluent Arabic. And I was listening to this joker address overseas Pakistanis talking about the Quran and this and that. I couldn't understand a word of what he was saying. He was reading the Arabic version of the Quran. I don't think he even speaks Arabic. He's semi-literate, this buffoon. And so what now is going to happen, ma'am, as you said rightly, enough is enough. Now, I conclude this, ma'am, because you're running out of time. May I just read out this message from an American friend of mine? You know, we have this small group of senators, congressmen, etc., etc. General Bakshi, what he says, he concludes with this. He says, we went in, dragged out Manuel Noriega from Panama, beat up the guy. You do the same. And then he says, Pakistan's existence is no benefit to our planet. Pakistan's death will be no loss to our planet. What more can I say, sir?
I think General Bakshi wants to respond to that. General Bakshi?
I heartily endorse Ambassador Deepak Vora's views on the subject. We have had another American friend of ours, Martin Rubin, who said that if you put lipstick on a pig, it remains a pig. And he has equated Mullah Asim Munir with Osama bin Laden. The only difference, he said, was Osama bin Laden was hiding in caves in Afghanistan, Tora Bora, etc. This man is living in a palatial bungalow. He just doesn't want to leave. He wants to hang on tight. If it means bringing the subcontinent to a war, so be it. This man loves the fishes and loaves of office. They all do. They all do, and they come to grief. They come to grief. That is exactly what is going to happen to Pakistan.
Okay, I think there's a good repartee going on between you and Ambassador Vora. Ambassador Vora wants to say something. Please go ahead before I get DGP into the debate.
Please get them. I'll hold my peace for the time being because, you know, if we want peace with Pakistan, Pakistan has to remain in one piece, no? We're going to make sure that it doesn't, that peace is not going to come. They are pulling out their troops, we are told, from Balochistan, from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa.
No. Ambassador Vora, let me just tell you, now that we are speaking right now, there's also this news coming in that Iran has now offered to mediate India-Pakistan tensions. Now, Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi now cites good relations and deep cultural ties with both brotherly neighbors. Now, Iran, I think perhaps the first country that has come out in open and said that it wants to mediate because it has good ties with both the neighbors. Now, I don't really think there is any place for mediation right now, whatever Iran might be wanting to mediate. But there is no place for mediation, and that's precisely the reason why no other country has even tried to speak about a mediation. Now, today, the defense minister also speaking to Donald Trump and urging him to mediate. Now, Khawaja Asif had also said that Donald Trump, being the big brother that he is, he needs to mediate.
Why are they scared? In any case, this Babarchi fellow, not Babarchi, whatever this Iranian character's name is. You remember that not too long ago, they were shooting missiles at each other. Then Babarchi went across to Pakistan. Oh, brother, darling, sweetheart. He went back, they started firing missiles at each other again. All this brotherly countries is arrant nonsense. It means nothing. Sometimes it's sisterly countries, sometimes it's brotherly countries. Iran better stay out of it. There's a character sitting across the Atlantic. His name is Donald Trump. He'll make sure that Iran doesn't get away with whatever it's trying to do. They are in deep trouble. So this is a non-starter. But it reflects, ma'am, he wouldn't have done it on his own. The Pakis, the Sunni Pakis, have begged Shia Iran to intervene, to save them. That's the big, you don't, suddenly the Babarchi, whatever his name is, doesn't come out and say, I'm going to do this. No. Someone has asked you to do this. We haven't. So obviously, it's that mullah, that mad mullah who's asked you, Arey, meri jaan bachao, meri naukri bachao, meri zindagi bachao, mere paise bachao, come and mediate. It's a non-starter. It's not good.
Okay, so now what you're saying is that Pakistan is so rattled that it has actually gone to Iran and said that it needs to mediate. Now that is a different angle altogether, and I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised if that really has happened. Because they know that there will be a strike, and this is going to be decisive, and that is exactly why, as you're saying, they've gone out and wanting Iran to broker a peace between the two. Now, there's also news coming in that the Government Medical College Hospital Jammu has issued an alert amidst cross-border tensions. Now, the GMC Jammu has issued a circular directing all staff to remain on high alert and ensure full preparedness to handle any emergency situations. Now, store officers have been instructed to maintain emergency supplies, critical medicines, and essential medical equipment in a state of immediate readiness. Now, that is something that is happening in Kashmir, in the course of events that have happened, and that is precisely what we are telling you, that the GMC Jammu has issued a directive to all its members. Now, DGP Vaid, if I can come to you, you've seen this throughout your tenure. What Khawaja Asif has said today about being there and being the main, they've harbored terrorists, they've send them across to India. The entire world knows this, and they've been doing this. And he's said it, pinning the blame on the UK and the United States, as if that can be taken by any of the countries in the world. You're trying to pin the blame. You've let your country be used for terrorism, and you've seen this in all your tenure. The 3 decades that he's talking about, how terrorists were sent into India.
See, Suchitra, this gentleman, he is just in a desperate bid trying to draw US and West in this conflict. They have, this is not the first time I'm hearing. I heard it from General Musharraf, who said Osama bin Laden is our hero. And we have been, this is a nation of beggars. They are ready to be sold for $1. Whoever gives them bloody 2-3 packs of dollars, they will do whatever dirty work they have to do. And as General Bakshi was saying, they diverted some of those equipment and money which came and started this Kashmir terror industry. These, I think more than these terrorists and Hafiz Sayyid and these people, more dangerous is the deep state of Pakistan, the establishment of Pakistan, which includes the army and the ISI. We must, in this moment, if we don't do this now, there will be never such a moment. And I think whole world is standing with you today. Whole country is accepting few exceptions in this country. Most of the political spectrum, people are standing together with the government. If we don't do it now, there will be no such moment, and you will not be able to do it. The government will not be able to face people. This is the moment. We must teach them a lesson and break the backbone of Pakistan deep state, that is Pakistan army. I mean, teach lesson to this Mullah Asim. This cannot be a coincidence that he makes a speech like this 3-4 days before this incident happens. And this very establishment arranged the visit of the Hamas terror leader to POK and interacted with LET cadres and Jaish cadres. That time itself, a bell rang up in my mind that these bastards are planning something on the pattern of Hamas attack on 7th October in Israel. And I see footprints of that. This is, almost that kind. It may not be of that scale that 1,100, 1,200 people died. Numbers may be less, but here circumstances are different. It's not Israel border. Here, eyeball to eyeball deployment is there. They cannot puncture the LOC the way they punctured in Israel. So here, things are different. Terrain is different. Circumstances are different. But it may be our Pulwama 2 movement, but it has definitely the footprints of Hamas 7th October attack. And I think our response should be like Israel. I have been saying this right from the beginning. Let's not discuss details on the media. The people who are in charge of our armed forces will decide what to do, where to do, and how to do it.
Right, DGP Ved, if I could just tell my viewers the kind of scrambling that's happening in Pakistan right now, which Pakistan is in a panic. All military leaves have been cancelled, and what really is happening, missiles are being tested in Karachi, security is being increased in Bahawalpur, tightened security at the Jaish headquarters, the one that I cited right now, and increased patrolling in areas near the border, more aircrafts being deployed at air bases, increased movement of logistic aircrafts. All this is happening in Pakistan. Now, Major General Bakshi, a nuclear threat was also being given out. And a former diplomat from Pakistan very clearly saying that if you have a traditional war, you cannot win with India. So the only way to win is a nuclear bomb. Now, imagine that the nuclear bomb is in the hands of a state that is so irresponsibly talking about it.
I want to bring out one fact. You see, the Pakistani generals are very responsible state actors because their own lives are concerned, and they live very lavish lifestyles. Massive bungalows. You saw the kind of goodies that the Corps commander had in his fridge in Lahore when the people attacked it and took away all the, his white peacocks to cut and eat, and the exotic fruit and craft cheese. They live very well. Such people do not press the nuclear trigger. Let's get that right. They are not non-state actors. They are not starving mullahs, from the backwaters of Karachi or Lahore. They are the princelings of Pakistan, right? They won't press the nuclear trigger. They love the life of luxury that they have. In Kargil, we fought for 3 months. I want to ask people how many bombs fell in nuclear bombs. Aadhe pav ka, ded pav ka, do pav ka, as somebody very famous said in Pakistan, on New Delhi. You forget Kargil is passé, is now dated. Russia-Ukraine war. Russia has the largest nuclear arsenal in the world. They've been fighting for the last 3 years plus. How many bombs, nuclear bombs, have you seen fall on Kyiv or any European capital for that matter? It's easy to talk of the nuclear option. You see, it is virtually impossible to do it in a situation of symmetry. It's not Hiroshima, Nagasaki, where only the Americans had the bomb.
But there's also an admission that you cannot win the traditional war. They know it. There is also an admission on ground that you cannot win a traditional war. They know it. General Saab.
No, that is very important. That is extremely important what you have said. Pakistan feels it has got us in a bind, exactly where it wants. There is nuclear deterrence. Conventional war they feel is ruled out. Therefore, they can make hay while the sun shines, escalating as much as they want in the sub-conventional field. It is up to us to break that log jam. There is space for a conventional war between the ends of nuclear and sub-conventional. We have to create that space. It is India's civilizational duty to create that space, unless you want to keep hearing your widows weep on television.
Ambassador Vora, I just want to know from you, do you think that Pakistan will go out begging to the other Middle Eastern countries or maybe to America? Because there has been a statement issued by Khawaja Asif to Trump saying that they should mediate. Do you think they will try at a mediation?
You mediate between two countries, two parties that are willing to be mediated.
No, they've always done that. Even in times of war, they've always gone begging to the Americans.
Absolutely. Now let me give you my own breaking news from my informal network of friends and colleagues around the world. They say this has not been confirmed. I'm just telling you what has been said again on my group. We understand that the Chinese foreign minister turned down Pakistan's request to talk to India. Well, happy birthday. The Chinese are having enough problems with Donald Trump and with us, even though their president, whatever the chap's name is, ping pong, ding dong, tingling, pingling, has been writing love letters to India's president saying, oh dear, I love you, and let's discuss. Now their foreign minister, Wangi, Yangi, whatever the chap's name is, he said, hum nahi baat karenge. So ma'am, how do you mediate unless somebody is willing to listen to you? Why would the Middle East mediate? Chanakya ki teesri cheez kya thi? Bhed. And Bhed means 57 members of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. There's only Pakistan and the other 56 hate him, leave out Turkey. The only country that does support him within the Organization of Islamic Cooperation other than Turkey is the Islamic Republic of the People's Republic of China.
Right.
It's an Islamic country, by the way, as of today.
No, Ambassador Vora, it's very clear. We've been briefing the diplomats. We've been speaking to the other countries. And America being the first that came out and stood in support. And now so many countries coming out and supporting India, saying that they are standing with us. Who stands in support with Pakistan? No one does. And that is exactly why they know that when there will be a retaliation, they will have nowhere to go because there is no one standing with them. And that is the harsh reality, a reality that they need to face, that they are standing solitary, they are standing alone, because what they've done, they will be getting a retaliation, and that too very soon. Thank you so much, viewers, for watching us on The Debate.
लाल रंग इसका अपार, तीखा कम है फिर भी स्वाद, बेमिसाल बेमिसाल MDH कश्मीरी,
MDH कश्मीरी।
MDH